Hello everyone, my name's Johnny and I'm going to do another rope work tutorial. This time we're going to be making a rather large monkey fist like this. This is a 6x6 with a core made of an old boomer ball. It's not going to be completely like this because we're going to finish this one off with an eye splice instead of a short splice like this one has, just to mix it up a little bit and mean that the zoo that I'm giving these to can use them for a couple more different things. A lot of people asking me how I made one that big. With a 3x3 with that size rope, you can absolutely just make it the standard way of wrapping it around your hands. However, if you get much bigger, I don't know about you, but my hands are just not big enough for it. So you're going to need to build yourself a jig, which is what I did. It doesn't have to be tremendously complex, it doesn't have to be a great engineering feat. This is literally some strap wood that I had lying about the garden and some thread bar which I've bolted through, and all you want to do is you want to measure it up to make sure that it's going to be slightly larger than the core that you're going to be using. So it slips through, which is what I want, because by the time that I put it in I'll have already wrapped rope around it, so it's not going to fall out. But what it does is it makes sure that your lines all stay in the correct places while you're working it, which is, I've tried it a few times making bigger monkey fists without a jig and I've never been able to successfully do it, and it's caused a lot of aggravation, a lot of swearing. So yeah, make yourself a jig. Like I said, it doesn't have to be incredibly high tech. I will probably make myself a nicer, more kind of polished one sometime in the future, but for the moment this serves my purpose, and we'll get ourselves a lovely monkey fist out of it. The other tools that you will need are pretty universal for all rope work and splicing. You're going to need a Swedish fid for a larger rope. This is my big boy fid. And you're going to need a hardwood fid for making a monkey fist of that size, purely because the tension on the rope can be such that you can't pull it out with your fingers all the time. So get the fid underneath and you can use it as a lever. This is the 18-inch one. I find that the 18-inch one is the one that I use the most. I have an 18-inch and I have a 6-inch and an 8-inch, and the two smaller ones I don't find much use for, but this one I use a lot on larger projects. So let's get started. I've got about 32 meters of rope to play with. It was the longest piece of rope I can find. Always get more rope than you need with monkey fists, because they do take up a lot of rope and you don't want to be 3/4 of the way through and find that you've run out, because that's just incredibly disheartening and sad. So we're going to start having a go, and I'll put it on like a time lapse or something if I can, because otherwise it's just going to be 2 hours of me grunting at a piece of wood and it's not the most exciting video on the planet. So I hope you enjoy it, and I hope you learn how to do it and make some ones for your own collections. Okay, so first things first is we're going to start wrapping around the jig. As I said, it's going to be a 6x6, so we're going to need to make sure that we wrap around 6 times. Okay, so now that we've wrapped it around 6 times, that's the first part of our monkey fist done, and it's time to put the boomer ball in. Now the next part, we're going to be going straight over and underneath, so we're going to need to lift up our rope a little bit as we're going through, but as it comes through it'll be easier and easier. This is where ideally I'd have had slightly longer uprights, but I had a limited amount of thread bar hanging around the house, so you work with what you've got. This is why it can help for you to keep it neat and keep all your line stretched out straight so that it doesn't come into tangles and hold you up like it just did there. I will pre-warn you all, it does feel like a Sisyphean task, like it's never going to get done, it's never going to look good. Throughout most of it, it just looks like a big bundle of rope and it can be quite disheartening, but don't give up on it. It will look good at the end, it is all in the finishing. You just have to get through this awkward, irritating stage first. Also, there is quite a prevalence in any rope when you're working with this sort of length, for it to twist and to kind of seize up and it won't run smoothly through. If you're finding that's happening, you just grab both ends of the rope that you're working on and you twist round like this, and you'll see that it starts to find its shape again. If you have twisted rope in a monkey fist, there is a potential that either it won't lie straight and look neat, or it will have opened up and potentially weaken the rope. So always make sure that as you're going along, you're just untwisting it so that it's running naturally the way that it wants to. So now I'm just going to count it up, make sure that how far we are away from changing direction again, because obviously you don't want to have 6 on one side, 7 on the other, 12 on another one. You want to make sure that it's all nice and even so that it will make a nice square shape, square round sort of shape. Okay? So we're on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is going to be our 6th one on top, and it's going to be our, and we're going to have to run it through one more time underneath, and then we can change direction. So let's do it. Okay, so that is 2/3 of it done. Ironically, it doesn't mean that we're 2/3 of the way towards completion, because a large amount of completing a monkey fist is in the tightening and the arranging of the strands once your monkey fist has actually been constructed, and that's especially true for these big monstrous ones as well. So we'll get there, it's just going to take a little bit of time. So now we're going to bring it up, we're going to pin it across one of the pins, and next we're going to be going under here behind these and then underneath the cords lying on the bottom. And once we've done that once all the way around, we can take it out of its jig and we can work on it like you would any other monkey fist, because the rope is going to hold its shape now. So I'm going to rotate it so that I can chuck all my rope further down the garden, and we'll carry on. I've just realised that I've done this wrong, and if I try and do it like this, this line is going to cross over and it's not going to affect the strength of the monkey fist, but what it will do is it will make it look less even, and you're going to have a line crossing over when you start tensioning it, no matter what you do. So really, what I should have told you to do is to instead go straight down this hole and go in the opposite direction. Okay? Which is what we're going to do, because we caught the mistake early on. Yesterday when I was making monkey fists, I did that, and I only realised that I'd made that mistake when I had finished the monkey fist entirely, and it's very frustrating and really annoying, and it pissed me off quite badly. So thankfully we've worked out that that's going to happen early here, so that it's not going to affect our making of the monkey fist. Let's do it properly this time. Mind the plants. Sorry about the delay, that's unworking the twists in my rope. And now we're doing shoelace. Okay, now that we've made at least one loop around our final side, we can now take it off the jig, because it is going to hold itself together now, hopefully. What I'm doing here is I'm laying out the rope so that it will flow a bit more evenly by making sure that the piece that's coming out of the monkey fist at the moment is going to be on the bottom, and then you're just piling it up so that the working end is going to be on the top, and that way it'll all come off and you won't get big long tangles. Sorry about that, my camera ran out of battery, so I had to go charge it up. But we are almost done, and we'll carry on and see where we get to. Okay, so while it may not look it, this is, in fact, to all intents and purposes, a completed monkey fist, 6x6. But at the moment, it's all loose, it's all tangled, it's not much good for anything. So what we're going to be doing first is we're just going to be working our way around and making sure that all of the lines are in line, so that we get a nice flat fascia on every side. This is another one of those times where, like I said, it doesn't do to rush it, just take it slow, little bit at a time. Don't try and tension it all up at once, because you won't get a nice neat monkey fist at the end of it. You'll just get a kind of taut and tightened mess. May not look the most elegant, but sometimes giving it a good kick can really help push them into place. This is where the fib comes in. I don't know if you can see, but this one has kind of sat over the top. So you're going to just use it to push between the two bits of rope there. And we're just going to gently ease it back into place. Gently is obviously a relative term when it comes to rope work.
Food for the plants that have flowers.
Okay, this is starting to look pretty damn good. So, we're just going to tighten it up once or twice more, and hopefully it will be a lovely semi-neat monkey fist. At this stage it's more of a upper body workout than skill. So making one of these in a day, you don't need to go to the gym afterwards. So I did just muck up there, and I changed direction that I was doing the tightening in. So I would have just gone back over the ones that I've already done, which wouldn't have helped me very much. But if that happens, you just notice it in time and you adapt. And there we have it. I might just tighten this one up a little bit more real quick, and then I will show you how I'm going to finish off it all. Because I'm planning on splicing it, you just need to make sure that your short end will still have enough length to make a decent splice out of. Okay. This doesn't number any back. And there you have it. That is our monkey fist. You see, it's all even, it's all neat. It's just what you want. You might be able to see the core through a couple of holes, but it's not going to be to the extent that it's going to affect its strength. They're not going to actually be interacting with the boomer ball in the middle. So next thing up is to splice it, and what I'm going to be doing this time is I'm just going to be doing an eye splice. So these two ropes will be spliced together like thus, and then I will put another eye splice in the end. So I might change the angle to make it a little bit easier for you guys, and again I'll time lapse because I've already done a tutorial on how to do an eye splice. This is just the exact same thing, you're just using slightly bigger tools and equipment. Okay, so I've prepped my ends for splicing. I've just put a little bit of tape just so that I know where's roughly midway through, so that I can easily make sure that it's even and it's not all bunched up on one side of the fist. And let's get cracking. Okay, so that is the first eye splice done. The next two ropes together, and means that the monkey fist is never going to undo itself, which it can do if you leave one end trailing. So now I'm going to have to work out how much cordage I want hanging off it to make the tail, and then I'm going to eye splice a ring onto that end. I'm also going to pop a ring down this before I eye splice it, so that I can so that it's easy enough to hang it over a branch or a beam, and then you can just de-link or carabiner the two rings together rather than having to try and cable tie the whole thing, which is just an absolute nightmare and will limit the life of the rope. Okay, so I've worked out how much length I want to use. I've popped a ring onto the centre of the rope, and I've got another ring which I'm going to be doing an eye splice around. Now I just got to unravel a bit more rope, that should do it. And we shall get splicing again. And there you have it. You've got a ring spliced on, and that will create a tensioning loop with this ring when they're connected together, which means that you can chuck it over a tree branch, you can chuck it over a beam, anything basically, and you'll tension it right up, and you have a tensioning loop which is very easy to undo. Doesn't require you to tie any more knots. Doesn't mean that you have to do anything damaging to the rope, and it is much kinder on the rope than using something like cable ties, which can do quite a lot of damage over time, especially given that this is second-hand rope. If anyone's wondering where I get this rope all comes from my local naval dockyard. I live in Plymouth, and if you get in contact with military bases and things like that, or near wherever you are, very often they'll have rope like this, which they have to discontinue after about 6 months of use because it's not rated for human safety, but it's perfectly fine for making things out of for animals, and if it's free, all the better. So I hope you've learned a bit more about this. It hasn't seemed like such a impossible, mind-boggling feat now, and I'd love to see everyone else's attempts. So thank you very much for watching.